Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, Infinite Crypto Cruisers. Hey there, folks. My name is Brad Varnell, and this is the Infinite Crypto YouTube channel. And today I am so excited to present you with another token teaser segment. And today we have an incredible project that we're really looking forward to sharing with you. And we've been lucky enough to get the CEO and co-founder of Hathor Labs, Jan, to come on to the show and spend a few minutes with us today. Thank you so much for being here. How's it going?
Thank you so much, Brad. It's a pleasure to be here. Thank you for taking this time. I'm doing terrific, and you?
Man, having a fantastic day. How can I not? You know, over the last, I've been involved in crypto for 8-9 years now, so I've experienced some bull markets, but, just like you and everybody else, I also experienced the pain of, 22 and most of 23 and, even 24 has had its ups and downs. But man, this last, November has been unbelievable, and it finally feels like we're getting to that point where all of those dreams and goals and financial freedom are, coming to fruition.
Yeah, definitely. We can see the light at the end of the tunnel, right? I think when we started 2023, I was like, oh man, I can't see the light. And when it came to 2024, that's when I said, okay, we're still kind of not okay, but I can see the light, like the crypto market, and it seems now that we're getting there. So hopefully, yeah, things just improve from now.
Yeah, absolutely. So to get us started, why don't you just give us a little bit of your background, how you got involved in, cryptocurrency, blockchain technology, how long you've been around the space, and what kind of led up to you creating and founding the Hathor Network.
Yeah, sure. My name is Jan Martins. I'm a computer engineer by formation. Actually worked in some software companies before, starting Hathor Labs. I actually even lived in the US for a while, working in a startup in San Jose, California. So I'm very used to the US area in the West Coast. I actually started in crypto, you mentioned like 8-9 years ago. That's around the same time when I started in crypto. I think it was around 2016 or 17, I think 16. But I just started by buying some tokens. I wasn't, even as a computer engineer, I didn't study a lot the technology or, why it was different. So I just purchased some tokens. I had some friends that were doing that. I just purchased some tokens and, waited. And the timing was actually good. So in 16, I think 2017, we had the bull market. So, I made some profit out of it. But in terms of really looking into the technology, that was actually in 2018 that I got involved. And that's when we started Hathor Network, because Marcelo, one of the co-founders, our CTO, he presented his PhD thesis that led to Hathor being created. So that was actually only in 2018 that I got involved in crypto, even full time, and that's how it's been for the last 8 years.
Awesome. Yeah, it's one of the things that I really like about your project, and one of the reasons that we invited you onto the show is you've been around. This isn't necessarily, you're not brand new to this. The company actually launched to the public back in, 2021, and now you've spent, 22 and 23 and most of 24, continuing to build through this bear market, which is impressive because, as we both know, there's a lot of companies that were around in 2021 that are no longer on the map today, that are totally defunct and and out of business. So congratulations on making it through that storm.
Thank you.
Yeah. So can you just maybe share a little brief synopsis of what Hathor Network is setting out to do? We all know that there's real world problems out there. There's, things that need to be fixed. And it sounds, so I'm just kind of curious, what is the problem? And then what is the solution that you guys are providing?
Yeah, sure. And just a comment before that on what you said about, being around. I think, it's super relevant. And so it's actually 6 years. I mentioned it, 6 years working full time in crypto. I'm amazed that I don't have more white hair because, as you know, it's a lot of ups and downs, a lot of stressful days. But we made it through. And So Hathor Network is a layer one blockchain. As I mentioned, Marcelo proposed Hathor in his PhD thesis. He proposed a different architecture for blockchain networks. It's actually not a pure blockchain as we say it. It's actually a mix of a DAG, a direct acyclic graph, and the chain of blocks, a traditional blockchain. So you have this mix of a DAG of transactions and a traditional chain of blocks intertwined. So he proposes to solve the scalability issue. Back in 2018, 18, it was still like a huge issue. And he proposed this architecture so we could solve it in a decentralized fashion. We see a lot of projects nowadays that kind of solved it, but under very specific scenarios where you need to have specialized hardware, you need to have very specific conditions where they can achieve the number of transactions they say you can achieve. And for us, having scalability with decentralization, the way that Satoshi, the way that Bitcoin set out, that's for us, that's kind of the goal. And on top of that, one thing that we saw back in 2018 and still very true to this day is the complexity when you want to create your blockchain project. I mean, when you want to integrate with a blockchain to make use of decentralization and create these awesome apps that we believe are going to be like the future. So we see that it's extremely complex. You need specialized developers. It's super expensive. Even with that, you have a lot of bugs, you have a lot of hacks. And we set out to do something that was simpler. So our idea was to expose to builders, developers, something that was easier to integrate. So you have these two, let's say, goals. First, scalability with decentralization, and true decentralization, but also making a chain that's easier to use. So our slogan is blockchain made easy. So that's also another big goal for us.
Cool. Well, let's run over to your website so that you can kind of give folks a little bit more of an idea of exactly what you're all about and what you're doing. And I know that you've got some new things that you're working on and that you're getting out to the public. And I'm not sure what you want to talk about first. So I'll kind of let you. I don't know if you wanted to talk about the DEX or the public incentivized testnet, or I'll kind of let you lead it for a minute here and talk about whatever you want to show here on the website.
Yeah, sure. I'll go through all of them shortly. When we set out to start Hathor, we saw back in 2018 and 19, people were just developing tokens, launching tokens. That was kind of the big use case for blockchains. And so we set out to do a blockchain that was very easy for anyone to create their own token. And, we achieved that. It's super simple for anyone to launch their own token on Hathor. You don't have any transaction fees. It's proof of work, merge mining with Bitcoin. So, you get the security of Bitcoin in a chain where you can easily create your own token. And that was very, very interesting, especially at the time, it was not called like this, but nowadays we call it RWA, real world assets. So, the enterprise market was more of our focus. And we were able to achieve some very interesting projects, especially the first STO, the first security token in Brazil that was approved by the Brazilian SEC. So it's been running since 2022 and has over $50 million of tokenized assets on the network, on a public blockchain, which is also something unique. Most, I'd say, enterprise security offerings, they happen on private blockchains. So that was kind of our initial focus. And now we are launching, as you mentioned, you can see on the website, we are launching our campaign, our features more geared towards the Web3 crowd. So we're launching our smart contracting platform, which we call Nano contracts. The same way that I said that we set out to simplify blockchain adoption, we want to do the same thing with smart contracts. So we feel that developing smart contracts is complex, it's costly, it's prone to bugs. So we are creating nano contracts as like a simpler to use version of smart contracts. They are written in Python. So anyone who wants to create a smart contract, a nano contract in this case, they write in Python, which is obviously, I'm not sure how familiar you are, but Python is a language that's simpler to use. It has a enormous development community. So we feel that it's a great way to attract a lot of new developers to the blockchain. And we're launching this with, not just launching it, but we have a whole set of new stuff that we're announcing. So we have a Medium post here that announces, let's say, this revamp of the protocol where we're launching Nano contracts with an incentivized testnet. So first we talk a bit about all of the achievements we've made so far. And now about Nano contracts. It has a lot of information about Nano contracts, the economics of it, which is very, very interesting. It has some interesting features where part of the fees used by Nano contracts, they're burned. Part of them I actually reverted back to the developers. So it's a way to incentivize developers to create Nano contracts. You can read all about it here. Also, we presented a few of the stuff that we're working on. We have an EVM bridge coming up, MetaMask snaps, also EVM compatibility. Everything is laid out here. You can read all about this, each of these topics. We have links. And we have these 2 topics here, which are very, very interesting. I'd like to talk more about this first one, which we know that MEV and front running is a big problem in Web3, right? Probably the largest use case for crypto nowadays is trading, and DEXs are a big part of it. So,
Yes.
When you have MEV, so when you have people being front run, they're actually being kind of, I wouldn't say ripped off, because it's part of the process, the protocol. It's something that's legitimate, but people are having, some of their funds taken, right? So with Hathor, we've come up with a very innovative MEV protection at a protocol level. So, block producers, they cannot reorder the transactions in a way that benefits them. So it's very, very interesting, very unique. And I invite anyone to read more about it or go to our channels and ask us about it, because we're very excited about this feature. And on top of that, we're also launching the grants program. So you can come here to see more about which areas we're interested about. We have grants from $5,000 up to $50,000. Very excited to have a lot of builders developing our ecosystem. Also, we're going to have online hackathon soon. And and here you can see a lot of the stuff that we're building. So I already talked a lot, so I'll give you some time to ask questions if you want.
Yeah, no, I appreciate all of the details, and what you just talked about is absolutely huge. I know that the front running and all of the I don't think a lot of people that are buying and selling crypto really realize how much that little bit that gets taken because they're being front ran, how much that actually adds up over the course of a month or 6 months or a year or two. So I think that you're probably talking about something that the average crypto person may or may not even know about. So it's great that you're educating the cryptocurrency markets to what this actually is, and then creating a solution for it.
From our researchers, when we were researching this, in terms of numbers, we saw some reports mentioning up to $1.3 billion just in Ethereum, of MEV extracted. So it's impacting all the users of the network. Anyone who is trading, going to a DEX, definitely they're being impacted. And that's on Ethereum alone. Nowadays, we have so many other chains, and if you add up all of that, it definitely has a big impact on users.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, is it still possible? I see on the website where it talks about miners. Is it still possible for people like myself to get involved in the mining of Hathor, or is that ship kind of sailed?
No, actually, Hathor has this interesting feature which is called merge mining. So we are proof of work chain mining with SHA-256, which is the same algorithm as Bitcoin. And we have this feature called merge mining, whereby you can mine Bitcoin and Hathor at the same time. So you actually don't have to configure anything specific. You don't need any specialized hardware. Well, You need ASICs, you need specialized mining equipment, but you don't need any special configuration for that. You just need to connect to one of the pools that support merge mining with Hathor, the most well-known one being F2 pool. So if you mine Bitcoin on F2 pool, actually you're already also mining at the same time HCR. So, we get a lot of the hash rate from the Bitcoin community that to secure the Hathor Network mainnet.
Makes sense. What would you say is maybe one of the biggest differences between, the Hathor Network when you launched a handful of years ago and like what you're doing today? Has the landscape in crypto has changed over the last few years? As you mentioned, real world assets wasn't even a thing back during the last bull market. And now it's one of the biggest narratives in this bull market. And I believe along with AI, real world asset type projects are going to do absolutely massive numbers potentially during this bull market. So have you guys had to pivot much over the last handful of years and change your business model, or are you pretty much just trucking along like you were in 2021?
Yeah, in our case, we are a layer one. Hathor Network is a layer one. It has its own utility token, HCR, so it's used for token creation. It's used now for nano contracts. And as you mentioned, definitely a lot has changed. When we first started, you didn't have as many institutions and many enterprises involved. You didn't have this whole ecosystem developed around it. You didn't have banks interested, or if they were, it was just like someone at a bank that had an idea and an interest, and we're just experimenting. So this is definitely very different. But at the same time, we didn't have such massive volume of retail trade, right? We had the ICOs, but if you take a look at, let's say, Uniswap volumes, daily, it was just unthinkable at the time. I don't think anyone could have predicted that we'd have this much involvement, even without like the enterprise use cases. And even then, you even have specialized companies just for the Web3 market and trading. You talk about like market making, you talk about companies specialized in MEV and all that stuff. So definitely the market changed a lot. You have a lot more interest in institutional, as you said, RWA. But I mean, for us, what surprises is how much the retail market has, continued to, let's say, just surpass expectations in terms of trading volume and interest. And I guess if we're coming to a bull market right now, we're going to see a lot more of that.
Right. And you mentioned, as when we were talking a little bit before we got on camera, how you guys are kind of moving into, Web3. Would you like to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, with the launch of nano contracts, that's exactly the public that we want to reach. So people are going to be able to build truly decentralized applications. They could already build some applications before, but with nano contracts, that's even more powerful now on the Hathor Network. So we're going to be able to build any of the, let's say, common financial services that you have on other networks. We already have a DEX, those are finance, that's developed on Hathor testnet. It's fully functional, very easy to use, very low fee. So yeah, anyone's going to be able to build, financial, not just financial service, but any kind of decentralized applications. And I guess that this, it's very interesting for the Web3 folks, that Web3 crowd, developers, builders who like to kind of, code until late and build very interesting stuff. And especially with being written in Python, very easy to use, I guess that it has the potential to attract a lot of builders, a lot of developers. So that's what we're excited about, actually.
Yeah, that was going to kind of be my next question. You led me right into it. So if I'm developing a new project and I'm getting ready and I'm trying to decide whether I want to launch it on, Ethereum or Polygon or Solana or Hathor, what are some of the benefits? Like if you were talking to, the founder of a project and really trying to give him some reasons why he should choose Hathor Network over some of those others, what would you say?
I think he's going to be able to develop and launch much faster with much less risk. Because Nano contracts, not just because it's written on Python, which I think just by itself it's a major advantage. It really cannot be overlooked. But not only that, we are delivering a platform that's easier for people to use. They don't need to be blockchain experts, for developing products. So I think when you see a lot of the hacks and you read about them, you see that the problem is not usually on the layer 1 or the layer 2, on the blockchain that's being used. It's actually a problem in the smart contract itself, because a lot of people, they come with the, let's say, Web 2 mentality, the mindset when developing code, when coding on Web 3. And it's not the same thing when you're talking about like a distributed project. You have so many variables, so many moving parts. So it's really hard. It is hard. We have to acknowledge that. And with Nano contracts, what we're trying to do is not just by using Python, but present to developers, let's say, an interface, a coding set, all the tools that it's going to be easier for them to code smart contracts. They don't need to be blockchain expert. They don't need to understand what's going on, deeply under the hood in the blockchain in order to be able to, code contracts that are safe, that are bug-free. So I guess that the main advantage is that, just easier. So it's going to be faster, cheaper, and less exposed to bugs.
Awesome. Thank you. Great answer. Let me pop over here real quick. I wanted to share your Twitter page with my community folks. So it's at Hathor Network. And, I really always like to highlight in crypto, I mean, just in business in general, community is everything, but especially in cryptocurrency, having a incredible community can make all of the difference in the world. And so I see, you're sitting at, 62,000 followers. It's pretty hard to see here, but you're followed by about 25 people that I am also connected with, on Twitter, which shows me that there's a lot of people in the cryptocurrency space that are, taking a close look at Hathor and keeping an eye on, all of the things that you are doing, so, with that, where would you like my community to connect with your community? Obviously, it would be great if they followed you on Twitter. It looks like you have a robust Telegram channel and a great Discord also. Is that kind of where you want my community to go, get introduced to your community?
Yeah, definitely. As you mentioned, Twitter, as we are going more to the Web3 crowd, we shifted a lot of our communication styles, a lot more memes, a lot more, funny content, this communication, which is geared towards Web3 crowd. But not only that, as I mentioned, we have the incentivized testnet campaign going on, so they can find it easily on our Twitter or our socials, any of the socials, Telegram, as you mentioned, or even Discord. So there's a Zilli campaign that they can do some tasks, and there are going to be some rankings and later on some airdrops of ATR. So it would be great if they could join it. They could help us test, because the incentivized campaign, it's not just for earning tokens. For us, it's important that we have use, so we can actually test and make sure that we catch any possible bugs or problems, or even just enhancements that we can do in our products before we go to mainnet. So yeah, definitely follow us on our socials, Twitter, Telegram, Discord, but also join our Zilli campaign. We have a betting DApp where people can actually just create their own bets and also join the, let's say, official bets that we make, which are part of the incentivized campaign. We have the DEX also with some activities for the incentivized campaign. So yeah, plenty of stuff where they can get involved.
Awesome. I love it. We'll definitely put all of the links to all of those socials in the description. If we can find a link that'll take them directly to the Zilli, we will definitely do that too. I do want to run over real quick and share the stats on CoinGecko. So very quickly before I do this, folks, I want to make sure, to put out all of the financial disclaimers. Folks, this is not financial advice. I am not a financial advisor. Jan is not a financial advisor. And my views definitely do not reflect his views. His priority is the technology and working on the product. And by doing that and being successful in that, the price action will just kind of come naturally. But I did want to share this real quick with you, my community, because I know that you're looking at this project and wondering, okay, why, what is it about this that makes me excited enough about it to highlight it on my channel? And I just want to share a couple of things with you. Once again, not financial advice, but it's sitting right now at a 29 going on $30 million market cap, which, as we know in the cryptocurrency space, is still very, very, in its infancy. That there's, multiple hundreds of projects out there with hundreds of millions and billions of dollars in market cap. And one of the things that we like about Hathor Network is it's a real world utility project. It exists for a reason. Unlike so many of the cryptocurrency projects out there that really don't do anything, that are just there for speculation, Hathor Labs and Hathor Network actually has real world utility, and we believe it's a company that can be around with staying power. We're looking for stuff that's going to be around in 5, 10, 20, 30 years, similar to the .com boom. Had you invested in Microsoft, Amazon, Starbucks, Dell Computers, some of those tokens or projects, companies back in the 90s, and held them, you would have had the opportunity to create some incredible wealth. So we're looking for projects that are still going to be here, during the next 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 bull markets, not just ones that are here today and gone tomorrow. Something else that's super exciting to me about this project is its all-time high back in 2021 was $2.45. So right now it's about 98% below its all-time high. But folks, as you know, that doesn't worry me. The fact that they made it through this bear market that we were just in and have come out on top and are still working hard, still innovating, and still, creating new projects and moving forward, gives us as investors an incredible opportunity, an incredible risk versus reward, if you will. If you decide that this is a project that you want to invest in, it could potentially have a lot of room to run, especially with the current market conditions improving like they are. We're about ready to hit 100K Bitcoin any day now. And I really believe, I had a friend tell me the other day that he thinks we could just be in for a 4-year bull market. Now, I don't totally agree with that. Like, I'm hesitant to go that far, but I do think with the current market conditions and the new administration that's in place here in the United States, that we could be in for the best bull market that we've ever seen over the next 3, 6, 9, 12 months. And maybe it does even carry a little bit further along. So once again, do your own due diligence, folks, but this is a token that we really like here on the channel. And also want to show you that you can buy it just about anywhere. You get it on KuCoin, Gate.io, Mexi, CoinEx, Ascendex, so you don't have any excuse. For any of you that are involved at all in crypto, I know you have one of those exchanges and can go pick up a little bit of this token if you get excited by what you see in this interview. So that's all I got to say about that. I know that you can't really chime in, but if I missed anything or if there is anything that you want to add, I will, give you an opportunity to do so at this point, Jan.
No, that was great. I think it was very complete. I'll just say that let's hope that your friend is correct about the bull market.
I mean, I think it's going to be absolutely amazing what we see here over the next, handful of years. Even if we just get the normal, next 3 to 9 months of a bull market, it's going to be an opportunity for people to create some life-changing money. But yeah, holy smokes, if we last 2, 3, 4 years, it'd just be unbelievable, what people can do in their life over the next handful of years. So, with that, was there anything anything else that you would like to, share or go over? I know it's late there and you want to probably get a little bit more work done and then get a little bit of sleep. But if there's anything else on your mind, anything important that we didn't cover yet, let's go ahead and do it. But if not, I'll let you go enjoy the rest of your evening.
No, I think we covered it all. Just again, invite everyone to go into our incentivized testnet, perform the activities, check for themselves, how easy it is. The network works, that everything is it's easy for the user, and also share any feedback that they have with us. As I said, the incentivized testnet is not just for earning tokens, but also for testing the network, making sure that everything is in place, and make sure that we're going to have a great launch of Nano contracts on our mainnet.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for your time. You're definitely welcome back on the channel anytime. I'm sure over the next handful of months, as things develop and there's new announcements, we'll get you back on here to keep us updated.
Yeah, thank you very much, Brad. It was a pleasure, and I'll sure to come back.
Awesome. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Have a great day, and we will see you in the next video. Take care.